Before we begin, if you like what you hear on the Tan and J-Man Show, don't forget to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, and go ahead and click subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. We encourage you to interact with us and keep up to date with the Tan and J-Man Show on social media by liking our Facebook page and following us on Twitter and Instagram at Tan and J-Man Show. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show with your hosts Tanner Lee and Josh the J-Man Munt. It's Monday night. You know what that means. Another episode of the Tan and J-Man Show on the ISC Sports Network. Episode 221 to be exact. Post-Super Bowl edition.
Yes,
the
sir.
Tan and J-Man Show. The 2020-2021 NFL season has officially come to a close.
Yeah.
Like we have said many, many times, NFL went all the way through without having to cancel any weeks. So,
That's shocking.
I got to give a round of applause to Roger Goodell.
Man.
Very rarely do I do that, but
Not going that far.
he this season went about as well as he could probably hope for, I believe.
Just the fact that they got all the games in, I mean, is an accomplishment in itself. But, I mean, there were some hiccups along the way, but they got through.
Yeah, there were going to be hiccups, like Tuesday night games, Wednesday night games. Like we said, they never had to cancel a week, so that's pretty impressive.
Yep.
But better let everybody know that the Tan and J-Man Show is brought to you by, like it is every week, The Damn Landing. Whether you want an epic burger, hand-tossed pizza, hand-breaded tenderloin, seafood, craft beer, or a handcrafted cocktail, The Damn Landing is the place to be. The Damn Landing is a bar and grill located on beautiful Lake Manitou that focuses on freshness and quality. And of course, you got the Damn Smoke, which is available on the weekends and features barbecue steaks. In addition to those, you can wash down with one of their 16 beers on tap, including constant rotation of today's best microbrews and domestic flavors, or a handcrafted cocktail made using fresh ingredients. Taking the fantastic views of Lake Manitou in their beer garden or outdoor bar area, whether it be by, I was going to say boat or wheels, but you don't really want to travel by boat right now.
You know what? I saw a guy out on the lake snowmobiling today.
What?
Yeah.
So whether it be by snowmobile or by wheels, Damn Landing is the place to be.
The lake wasn't completely frozen over as of Saturday, so.
That's pretty risky.
Yeah.
Pretty gutsy, I would say.
Yeah. He was flying. Like he was having the time of his life.
But located at 1305 Ewing Road in Rochester.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure a lot of people got some pizza and some wings from there for the Super Bowl Sunday yesterday.
Their pizza's phenomenal. Wings, phenomenal. Weather is not phenomenal.
Nah,
but,
this weather's for the birds.
It'll be summer soon enough.
It's for the birds, but it will be spring, then summer soon enough. Speaking of spring and summer, it's nice golf weather.
Not today.
No, spring and summer is not today. But the Tan and J-Man Show is also brought to you by Circle 15 Golf. Circle 15 Golf is a brand focused on bringing tour quality products and experience to the everyday golfer. Built on 25 years of tour experience, featuring the Genesis glove, the most durable and comfortable glove available in the patented Glove Hub, the first and only glove humidor on the market. Find them and more information at circle15golf.com.
Ready to not be educated. I mean, this will educate you.
Yes, it will make me
sense.
learn.
It'll make you learn something,
what if I
whether
know
you already knew it or you didn't.
Okay.
But Birdie Bogey time. Since the NBA-ABA merger in 1976, who has the most 20-point and 20 rebound games in an NBA career?
Wow. 20-point and 20 rebound.
This guy has 50 more than the second guy on the list. He has 50 more than the second guy on the list. Birdie Bogey is brought to you by Noble Gnome LLC. Fresh, locally grown, nutrient-dense produce from Bryce and Katie Romine of Mentone, Indiana. Like them on Facebook, follow them on Instagram, and check out their website, noblegnomellc.com. Get your veggies.
That's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on you to do that. So,
you just want to start with the Super Bowl?
Yeah, let's start. Super Bowl 55 came and went. Surprising result.
Yes, in a sense that I think the score was much further apart than we predicted.
Well, I thought if it was going to be a blowout, it was going to be Kansas City blowing out Tampa Bay.
Of course, I wasn't shocked I don't think Tanner was shocked at all that Tampa Bay won the game. It was just marginal victory. How good did Tom Brady look last night? Did he throw 4 touchdowns or 3?
3. Okay. 2 to Gronk.
Gronk caught 2. And Antonio Brown caught 1 as well.
Yes.
Absolute domination by Tampa Bay's defense. Todd Bowles put together a phenomenal game plan. He kind of switched up his whole scheme where he blitzes a lot. He didn't really blitz that much at all, and he relied on his pass rush, which I said last week, if Shaq Barrett and Jason Pierre-Paul do the exact same thing they did the previous game against the Green Bay Packers, they have a very good shot to win. They set a Super Bowl record 29 pressures in I don't know how many times he dropped back, 50 times maybe? Yeah. That's insane to get that many pressures from your defensive line as well as linebackers as well. And they just completely dominated the game. They set the tone early.
Yeah, I'm a Shaq Barrett fan. He used to play for the Broncos and was a pretty good pass rusher for the Broncos, but I understood why he left. He wanted to be an everyday starter. He's got that chance with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led the league in sacks last year, and had a heck of a game yesterday. Yeah. Like you said, he and White were getting in there and putting some pressure on him. And Mahomes, without his Eric Fisher and his – what's the right tackle's name?
That is the right tackle.
Eric Fisher. The left tackle.
Tardif,
because the backup that was playing one of the tackle positions was the same tackle that started Super Bowl 50 for the Panthers.
Oh.
When the Broncos were able to get around them. So, I was just really impressed. I mean, this didn't come to a shock. I mean, Todd Bowles' defenses are always good.
Yes.
So that didn't come to a shock, I guess. But I hadn't seen Patrick scrambling around and trying to evade the pressure like that in his NFL career.
In every single one of his dropbacks, he ran a combined 497 yards.
It's quite a bit of running
on those drop. I mean, every single time he dropped back, it seemed like he'd have to roll this way, and then he kind of rolled out.
He almost covered 5 complete football fields. Yeah. Well, end zone to end zone, I guess a complete football field is 120 yards, but you know what I mean.
Yes, but I mean that's just insane. Tyreek Hill didn't do anything. They completely shut him down.
Shut him and Kelsey down.
Yeah, I mean
until the very end.
Kelsey got good numbers, but he had a couple drops. They really needed a third weapon, and they didn't get much from the running game. They just did not play very well. It was the first double-digit loss in the 54 games of Patrick Mahomes' career, and it had to come in the Super Bowl. And I would say they got absolutely embarrassed last night.
Yeah, no, they definitely got embarrassed, and Mahomes didn't get too much help from his guys. Every time it looked like Kansas City defense did something, there was a penalty.
Yeah,
a lot of penalties. Some were probably maybe shouldn't have been called, like a defensive holding way away from the play itself, but they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. The big play was the offsides.
Huge.
Which ended up giving them the first down.
Yep.
That was big, and I kind of knew Kansas City was in trouble when they stuffed Tampa at the 1-yard line on 4th down and then didn't do anything with that on that drive.
And there was another huge penalty. Kansas City boomed the ball deep on a punt and pinned them inside the 25. But there was a hold, and so they accepted the penalty. Tampa Bay did, and pushed them back, I think, half the distance to the goal. And then Townsend shanked it. That ended up being like almost a 40-yard field position difference. That was a huge play in the ballgame, too, because it was still a really close game at that time.
Yeah, it's I wasn't hurt by the result at all. I mean, I'm not a Tom Brady fan by any means, but I'd rather him win his 7th like he did last night than Kansas City win yet another one, win back-to-back. But 7 Super Bowl titles out of 10 appearances. Man, if anybody out there was going back and forth whether he's the GOAT or not going into last night, I think you definitely got your answer.
I saw a question posed on Twitter from Dante Stallworth, actually. Is he the GOAT of the GOATs? Jordan won 6. Brady's won 7. I mean, you have Tiger Woods in there. Serena Williams has won 23 Grand Slam titles.
And you got Michael Phelps.
You're right.
He only gets a chance to compete every 4 years, and he won a ton of gold medals. So I don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
Of the 3 major sports, I would absolutely say he is. It's hard to really argue he's not.
Yeah, he's I don't think he can touch a Jordan in a popularity branding, but
no,
nobody will.
People don't like Tom Brady anyway.
You're right. But he's definitely the best quarterback of all time. There's no more ifs, ands, or buts about that. There wasn't going into last night, but
I'll go on record and say he wins at least one more Super Bowl before his career's over.
How many more years do you think he'll play?
He says he wants to play till he's 45. He clearly hasn't lost anything. Threw 40 touchdowns this year.
Well, they're going to be you got to think Tampa Bay is the favorites to win the NFC. I know Vegas called them the favorites with the Packers right behind them. But let's give some early looks at next year. Who are some teams that you think can compete for the AFC and NFC next year?
I still don't see a team really competing with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Chiefs are here, but who's on that next level down? The Bills. You got to think they're
the Bills
still
won
there.
13 games. You have to think that they'll be there again. You have Baltimore right there, which is still young offense, a great defense. They need to
Does
get
Cleveland take that step?
I just
get there with Baltimore.
Don't believe in Baker that much. You look at the AFC West. Maybe the Chargers are a team that could potentially, with Justin Herbert. He played so good down the stretch at the end of the year. Maybe they make a step forward. The Vegas Raiders, don't believe in them. Broncos need to figure out their quarterback situation. Dolphins won 10 games this year, but I'm worried it was kind of a fluke.
Can it be consistent?
Drop back down to 7-9, 8-8. It all relies on the quarterback, to be honest. Colts, if they go out and get a quarterback, they'll be right there again. But
also, my dad texted me, Bill Russell had 11 championships in 13 years, plus 2 NCAA championships and a gold medal.
He's pretty good.
That's a pretty good one. I agree. I can't argue with you too much on the AFC side. The NFC side, I think you got Tampa Bay up there. How could you not? I think in Green Bay, I think they're there. New Orleans, unless they get a really good quarterback somehow, I think they're out of the conversation now. Rams, we'll see what Stafford can do.
Right.
Seattle, I don't know. They're hard to figure out.
It sounds like teams have been asking them if Russell Wilson's available in a trade, and they've told them no way.
Yeah, you think that Houston would get a haul for Deshaun Watson.
Imagine what the Seahawks could get.
Exactly. Somebody that's a proven winner. Deshaun Watson hadn't proven he can win anything. I think he's an extreme talent. I think he's got potential to do great things, but he hasn't won yet. NFC, I don't think the Bears.
They're probably the odds-on favorite to land Carson Wentz right now, which the asking price is ridiculous. I saw today that they're supposedly wanting 2 first-round picks from the Bears as well as Roquan Smith. Carson Wentz for Roquan Smith straight up would be a bad trade for the Chicago Bears, let alone giving up 2 first-round picks as well. It's asinine to think somebody, a team would want Carson Wentz at that insane asking price for one, let alone, you have his contract situation. He hasn't been good in 2 years. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Maybe surround him. Maybe it's a change of scenery type thing. But a change of scenery is not worth 2 first-round picks, let alone adding in Roquan Smith. So,
so I don't think the Vikings, they need a bounce back year, but I don't see anybody in the NFC East.
No. Where's Dak Prescott going to end up? You think he ends up back in Dallas?
I think they franchise tag him if they can't come to an agreement.
Watch him hold out.
He wants a 4-year deal. They were going to give him a 5-year. He wants 4-year.
It'll be interesting. Cowboys kind of screwed him over because then he blows out his leg. Compound fracture. Pay him what he's worth. I think he's a solid NFL starting quarterback, a lot better than a guy like Carson Wentz,
San Francisco. Watch out for San Francisco if they can stay healthy. I think they can jump back into the contender.
If they can add Aaron Rodgers, 100%.
Well, yeah, but I don't see him leaving Green Bay.
I don't either, but maybe that relationship is unrepairable,
irreparable. I don't give up on Jimmy G yet. If you can get a Rodgers or somebody, yes. But
absolutely.
He was pretty good 2 years ago when they made the Super Bowl, but he's got problems staying healthy.
Yeah. If they're looking to deal him, watch him end up in New England.
Yeah, that'd make a lot of sense.
If of course they can add a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who else could even be available? Maybe they can try to sign a Dak Prescott if Cowboys don't.
That's the thing with this Carson Wentz. I keep going back on is everybody's talking about the Bears and the Colts for good reason. There could be a mystery team out there like the Raiders, You never know if they want to get rid of Carr. If they don't think Carr's the guy.
I was going to say that it's been rumored that Derek Carr could
Atlanta?
end up somewhere else.
If they want to get rid of Matt Ryan. But see, I would think we would hear some smoke about this. Now, Kirk Cousins' name's kind of got brought up where if he becomes available,
San Francisco
would be make a lot of sense with his familiarity with.
Thank
you. I couldn't
Shanahan.
say the word. That's exactly what I was trying to say. You read my mind with Kyle Shanahan from their days in Washington.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, just one more move like this could create a domino effect of, the quarterback carousel. Unless like Carson Wentz ends up in Chicago, then it really doesn't do a whole lot.
Who blinks first, Texans or Deshaun Watson?
I think it's got to be the Texans. They're telling teams he's not available, but I can't imagine that relationship being repaired enough.
They could just be stubborn, hold still, and if Deshaun doesn't play, he loses $21 million.
That's a lot of money. Yep.
Which
It'll be interesting.
I do kind of have a problem with athletes, especially ones that get their contract extended 1 year prior and then decide, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
I get ownership issues and, head-to-head battles happen, but I don't really like when athletes can kind of pick and choose where they want to go. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah. But they deserve a voice. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, if they're miserable, but again, you signed a huge contract. You should have
show up to work.
Show up to work and play out that contract.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I know Houston Texans have been a horribly run organization. They're probably the worst organization in the NFL right now.
Or Detroit.
Without a doubt, or the Detroit Lions. But yeah, he hasn't created the mess. The Texans have kind of created the mess. But
do you know there's 12 teams in the NFL who have not won a Super Bowl?
12 teams?
I did not know there was that many till today.
I know the Lions haven't.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I got 2.
Titans, Vikings, Bengals,
Bills, Titans. You said Vikings.
Yeah.
I said Lions.
Cardinals.
Texans. Cardinals have never won. Yeah, they've never won one. Who else?
Falcons.
Eagles just won one, didn't they? Falcons have never won one. Saints have only won one.
Panthers.
Tampa Bay's won 2. Panthers. Who else we got? Anyone else?
I've lost track of my head already. Yeah.
It might have been 12. I don't know.
Yeah, but interesting. Any other thoughts from Super Bowl? Any commercials you enjoyed? Halftime performance?
Commercials were the worst of the weekend ever. Not a really big fan of that kind of music the weekend. I thought he did an okay job. It was the least I've looked forward to a Super Bowl ever. And it was the least enjoyable Super Bowl I can remember just watching. Had a good time where I was at.
Yes.
But the game just wasn't good.
I enjoyed it more than the 13-3 Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Browns haven't won one.
Yep, that's right.
Courtesy of my mother and my father.
I lost track of my head. Thank you. I knew we'd probably forget one or if not 2.
So, Browns ever played in one?
Nope.
No.
You ever the Lions or the Jaguars?
No.
Or the Texans?
Yeah.
I feel like everybody else has played in one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yes, I agree. Commercials were pretty blah. I mean, there's a couple I enjoyed. I enjoyed the Shaggy one.
That was a pretty funny one.
Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that one.
There was an M&M commercial early on that was pretty funny, too.
Oh, yeah. But Jason Alexander one.
That was a good one.
Was that Tide? That was Tide, right? Tide Pods, I believe. But halftime performance didn't do anything for me the weekend. I did not enjoy that.
He spent $7 million of his own money.
On what?
Couldn't
figure out what it was.
Yeah.
Maybe the expensive lights.
The lights. I mean, the background was, again, we said it was supposed to look like a city behind him. And it kind of looked like a graveyard.
Yeah.
Which probably isn't great. I haven't seen anyone ripping on him for that though. But
so you're saying it's most likely your least favorite Super Bowl you've ever watched.
I would say it's up there.
What's your favorite?
Hold on one second. I got a few others.
Okay.
The 13-3 was bad.
Yeah. That was just
Another boring game, and you're not going to like it, was Super Bowl 50.
I can't disagree. For
a
looking at
neutral fan, it was brutal. Trying to think what other Super Bowl I really did not enjoy. There have been some, as Tanner walks behind us. I forgot we're doing the webcam today. Best Super Bowl I've ever watched. The Cardinals Steelers, I would say, was probably the most enjoyable Super Bowl I watched. You had Larry Fitzgerald scoring a long touchdown to give the Cardinals the lead late, and then Big Ben leads them completely back down, and Santonio Holmes catches that great catch and gets his toes in to win the game. Great throw by Big Ben as well. Can't discredit that. I would say Cardinals Steelers, as well as I know I hated the outcome, but a great game and one of the best Super Bowls ever was probably Seahawks Patriots. But other than that, I can't really think. There's been some blowouts. I mean, we saw I really enjoyed the Philadelphia Eagles New England Patriots one as well, the second one.
I think that was my favorite aside from Super Bowl 50.
Yeah, I mean, no one gave the Eagles a shot. Backup quarterback.
Philly special.
The Philly special.
Fun.
It was just a fun game to watch, aesthetically pleasing. A lot more so
Another
than
one
night.
I did not like was the Steelers and Packers in 2011.
I just didn't like either team.
Enjoy that one at all.
One of the forgettable ones is Steelers Seahawks.
I digress. My favorite besides Super Bowl 50 was Saints over Colts.
That was a really good one.
Breeze, exciting. Breeze got the win. He had the onside kick.
Hank Basket dropped. Yep.
That was a fun one. Bears Colts was fun too.
That's because you were a fan of both.
Yeah.
At the time, or who were you a fan of more at the time?
I was the Bears.
Bears
I
at that
was
time.
Rooting for the Bears.
That was my least favorite Super Bowl to watch, just because I hated both teams. Hated Rex Grossman.
No, I did too.
Didn't mind. I mean, I liked Peyton Manning. I respected him, but I hate Colts fans. I don't hate them as much now.
Yeah.
But back then, when we were in school and they were good all the time, my team was garbage. Hated them.
Understandable.
Yeah.
But, Super Bowl. I mean, glad they got it in. Glad they had 23,000 fans there. Looked like a lot more, but that was cardboard cutouts. But it looked good on TV.
There was a streaker.
Yes.
And I saw it today. I don't know where it went. Okay. Here it is. So this guy met the Super Bowl streaker at J. Alexander's restaurant while having lunch before leaving Tampa. This guy bet $50,000 on a prop bet at plus 750 that there would be a streaker at the Super Bowl. His buddy went out first as a diversion, so he didn't get caught as quickly as his friend. It cost him $1,000 to get out of jail, so he cleared $374,000 on the bet. Worth it.
Wow. What a story.
That's
and
hilarious.
Of course, the telecast didn't show it, but get on Twitter, look for
it actually did show it because there was a wide view.
Oh.
And you could see him streaking across, and then they cut away real quick, so kind of knew what was
Kurt
going on.
Warner and Kevin Harlan, I believe.
Kevin Harlan's phenomenal.
Their audio call on the radio on Sirius was hilarious.
Yeah.
All-timer.
Kevin Harlan's done that before. Because he does like ESPN, I think, or I forget. He's a CBS guy, I know, but I want to say he does radio for like Super Bowl, like college football playoff and all that. He does a phenomenal job. Does NCAA tournament as well.
They might have a Westwood One deal or something.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. Yeah. I think that's actually what he did it on was Westwood One.
You ready for some word association, Josh?
Yes, sir.
Super Bowl week. Or it was Super Bowl week's post-Super Bowl edition of the Tan J-Man Show. So I've got down, I believe it is 14 different Super Bowl / Hall of Fame related people or topics for you.
Okay.
All right. The first one, the Super Bowl.
Boring.
All right. Not the answer I was expecting because I was thinking you were going to go more as the Super Bowl in general.
I was just thinking this year's Super Bowl.
It's the first thing that comes to your mind. So, the city of Tampa Bay.
Trash. I'm sorry.
Sorry for anybody that lives in Tampa Bay that might be watching this.
I actually like the Tampa area. I just don't like Tampa Bay.
Gatorade.
Yellow. I like the yellow Gatorade.
Like lemon lime.
Lemon lime
Lemon
Gatorade.
lime's a strong flavor. Rob Gronkowski.
I can't say what I want to say. Player.
I thought you were going to say partier. Parted.
That's kind of what I was getting at, but it was a certain number that popped into my head first. That
all right. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Honey Badger.
Good one. Bruce Arians.
Old. I mean, he's one of the oldest. He's the second oldest head coach ever to win a Super Bowl.
The Weeknd.
Hair. That hair was all over the place.
Buccaneers.
Pirate.
There you go. Champs. Chiefs.
Kermit.
I like that one. Calvin Johnson.
Hall of Famer. He got in on the first ballot.
Charles Woodson.
Greatest quarterback I've ever seen.
Corner.
Sound
like you said quarter, but he might have said corner.
Yeah.
CB. John Lynch.
Overrated.
Knew something like that was coming. Peyton Manning.
Second greatest of all time.
Zach Thomas.
Should be in, but he's not.
That's all I got.
I was so angry. I thought this was the year Zach Thomas is going in. Didn't get in. He's one of just 3 players that have made 5 all-pro teams not to be in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Willis is another one. Never heard of the other guy. Zach Thomas should be in. He was one of the greatest linebackers of the 21st century. He continues to get looked over. He was on great defenses, too. Him and Jason Taylor led the NFL in tackles so many years. Just gets looked over because he played Miami. It's not fair.
I feel like, and I know you and I were talking about this yesterday, Miami fans need to gripe more on social media, or their representative needs to campaign more for these guys, because I'm telling you, the Broncos for years had the least amount for a team that had been around for a long, long time, and now they've got 5 in the last 6 years in.
It's the problem, though.
Just complain.
Miami's not a football town.
No.
It's a soccer town, man.
Soccer.
It's a beach town. All those, I mean, there's so many immigrants from Cuba that live there.
I got you.
It's turned into like,
I didn't know they had an MLS team. Maybe
I don't even know if they have an MLS team, but they've hosted like big soccer events, and the place is just packed to the gills. Like almost 500,000 people just around the stadium. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a winning town. They like the winning team.
They like the winning
team. Heat when LeBron was there.
There's so many more things to do in Miami. I mean, you have the beach. You have all sorts. It's warm all the time.
Yep.
You don't want to go and watch football.
Yep.
So.
So, any closing thoughts? Super Bowl 55, besides everything we've talked about?
No.
Yep. We got the free agency starting a little over a month, about a month from now.
I think March 17th.
And then I'm going to get working on my first mock draft here soon. I hope to release 3 of those again this year like I did the last 2 years.
Do you guys remember last year, Tanner hit on what? Was it 13 of the first 14?
I believe it was, and 16 overall in the first round.
That's insane.
Will not happen this year. I beat some of the experts. The funny thing is, I studied from about 8 different experts and then just shifted a few things around. So we'll see. But I always enjoy it. It gives me something to do and something to put on the show and look forward to.
Yep. We love NFL draft season.
It's fun.
I love NFL free agency. Right away, it's like boom, 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 boom.
In the wise words of our good friend Andrew Eiler,
the real
season begins today, the off season. You ready for some on this day?
I am ready to be educated.
Sports events that have happened on this day on February 8th. On the first ever NFL draft was hosted on this day in 1936. Jay Berwanger.
That's what I thought it was.
The University of Chicago was the first pick by the Philadelphia Eagles. Never heard of them. On this day, 1945, Paul Brown agreed to coach the new American football expansion team in Cleveland, which would later be named the Cleveland Browns after their coach.
It's a legend.
On this day, 1960, Boston Celtic Bill Russell became the first NBAer with 50 rebounds. He had 51 in a game. On this day, 1963, the AFL's Dallas Texans became known as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Huh. Thought you were going to say Dallas Cowboys.
On this day, 1975, Pistol Pete Maravich
pretty good.
Scored 47 points as the New Orleans Jazz ended a 28-game NBA road losing streak with a 106-102 win over the Atlanta Hawks.
Pretty good.
28-game road and losing streak.
His autobiography is pretty dang good. Learned a lot about him. He's an
You know,
interesting guy.
that was one book in high school. I think it was like the only sports book that they had in the library that I didn't finish.
Really?
Got bored halfway through it.
A lot, like the first half was like about his relationship with his dad and like, get to LSU.
Yep. Yeah, I got bored with that one. I should try to go back and finish it someday. I won't, but I should.
Tanner doesn't know how to read.
Funny. On this day in 1983, the great one, Wayne Gretzky, set an NHL All-Star record of 4 goals in 1 period.
Huh.
Quite a few goals.
Are they doing an NBA All-Star game this year?
Yes.
They say they're going to, and a lot of players are not happy.
They got the week they have off is they have a date from March 5th through 10th. So rumor has it they're going to do it on Sunday, March 7th. I think that's
why. What's the point? Just name the All-Stars, kind of like they did the Pro Bowl.
I think it's
2K.
kind of already in place with the TV agreement, but they just hasn't been announced.
Okay.
We'll see, though. On this day in 1985, Bruce Morris of Marshall University made a 92-foot, 5.5-inch basketball shot.
Huh.
That's pretty much
full court.
Absolutely full court.
Yeah.
Is it 93 feet?
Is it 94 feet?
I don't know. It's a long one, though. On this day in 1986, 5'7" Atlanta Hawk guard Spud Webb won the NBA slam dunk competition.
Spudson. What was his real name?
I don't know. Can you tell me who won the NBA All-Star MVP in the 37th All-Star game on this day in 1987?
87? Larry Legend.
No.
Michael Jordan.
Tom Chambers, center of the Seattle Supersonics, as the West beat the East 154-149 in overtime. On this day in 1991, Roger Clemens signed a then record $5,380,250 deal with the Red Sox.
$5 million
per year with the Red Sox. Excuse me. I don't know what it was overall. Don't know why this is on there, but on this day in 1994, Jack Nicholson used a golf club to attack a car. No idea.
Maybe he was an actual mental patient and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
He was also the Joker.
Yeah.
And Batman.
Maybe that made him go crazy.
Might have. On this day in 1996, the NFL in Cleveland, in the city of Cleveland, allowed Art Modell to move his NFL franchise to Baltimore, but he had to leave the Browns name behind. It was a good 30 for 30 on that.
Didn't watch it.
You didn't see that one on City of Cleveland?
Uh-uh.
That was a good one.
Did you watch the one on Al Davis this past week?
No, but I wanted to.
Really?
Yeah. I'll watch and just laugh the whole time.
No.
No. Yeah. Who won the NBA All-Star Game MVP on this day in 1998? The 48th one at Madison Square Garden.
98, I'm going to go with Patrick Ewing.
Michael Jordan.
That would have been a better guess.
The East beat the West 135-114. And, okay. Who was the 2004 Pro Bowl MVP as the NFC beat the AFC 55-52? So I'm giving you as an NFC player.
2004.
Yep.
Peyton?
Mark Bolger. I even gave you the NFC.
Oh, I thought you said AFC beat NFC.
NFC beat AFC.
Maybe
I read it wrong, but it's or maybe I said it wrong, but it's NFC beat AFC. All right, I'll make sure I say this one right. Who won the Pro Bowl MVP on 2009 on this day?
2009.
NFC beat the AFC 30-21.
Pro Bowl 2009.
That's crazy. This guy won it.
Crazy. What position?
Wide receiver.
Wide receiver in 2009 for the NFC. I'm going to go with Donald Driver.
Good guess. Was he still in the league then? But the good
I
guess.
think he was.
Larry Fitzgerald, why I said this is crazy, he played in the Super Bowl in 2009.
Must have been after.
Yeah, but it was. But usually you don't see the guys won it. But that's the type of dude Larry Fitzgerald is.
Back before they moved it to before.
But usually even back then you didn't see guys who played in Super Bowl go play in Honolulu. But that's Larry Fitz for you.
Yeah.
So it was more surprising than crazy, I should say.
God, it's crazy.
But what's not surprising or crazy is that the On This Day segment is brought to you by Proforma Print House. If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable resource for your next trade show, company picnic, or sales meeting, Performer Print House has over 50 years combined experience in promotional products and commercial print. Like Josh is being Vanna White over here, showing off the First Federal Savings Bank water ball. They strive for fast and efficient response to all your print needs. You need to look no further. Let them be your one-source print and promotional company today, and give them a call at 574-210-3815. You can get water bottles, you can get pins, you can get tablecloths, you can get banners, you can get all kinds of stuff. Whatever you need to promote your company or organization, they can take care of your needs. Once again, give them a call at 574-210-3815.
We had ourselves another wild week in the Big Ten, didn't we?
Another week. And a lot of results that are head scratchers, to say the least.
I mean, we had starting Tuesday night, we had the Boilers get upset by the Maryland Terps.
Most frustrated I've been after a game all year, including the debacle at Miami in the Big Ten ACC Challenge.
Ooh, a 19
I just didn't care that one. I'm like, meh.
It was early, too.
It's early. Don't know about the season anyways.
Yeah.
The other night, 5-point lead with a minute 32 left. Feel like they need to close one out. But I sometimes also then, when I go back and look at it, well, they won the one in a similar situation at Ohio State. They probably should have lost.
Kind of evens it out.
Kind of evens out in the long run, but still frustrating. They barely got Maryland the first time they played on Christmas Day. Maryland's just a tough matchup for them for some reason, but box out, you win the game.
Yeah.
And frustrating, but they did get the dub on Saturday against Northwestern. Once again, I'm glad it was Northwestern they were playing. They didn't play that good, but it didn't help that Travion Williams got 4 fouls. But the freshmen stepped up. Jaden Ivey had a good week, including career high 20 points and 7 boards against Northwestern. He got Big Ten Freshman of the Week for the second time today and produced 6th time, one of their freshmen. So the only one missing is Ethan Morton, but he didn't play at all on Saturday. So he's kind of lost in the mix, especially now that Sasha Stevanovic is back. He didn't do much Saturday, but it's nice to have him back there on the court. Boilers only play once this week, Thursday at Minnesota. I don't like these weeks. They only play once, but it is what it is this year. But, yeah, would have liked to get both games instead of a split, but they're still ranked at 24th in the AP poll. They didn't move anywhere because everybody from like 20 to 25 lost.
It seems like everyone in the top 10 lost, too.
Pretty much.
It was a pretty wild week in college basketball. A great game Tuesday night. Illinois went into Indiana and won in overtime by 4. Illinois.
The refs tried to make them lose.
Yeah, it was one of the more unwatchable games I've watched in the Big Ten this year, and basketball as a whole. I mean, there were combined over 60 foul shots. They were blowing the whistle. It seemed like every possession Illinois had the screws put on them. Georgi Bashanishvili fouled out on a play where he didn't even touch the guy. Ayo Dosunmu fouls out on a great drive that the guy undercut him, and they called a charge. They had to play the final 7.5 minutes without Ayo Dosunmu, and that includes overtime. They still found a way to win. Kofi Coburn was awesome. He had 16 points, 10 rebounds. He has, in their 12 Big Ten games, he has 10 double-doubles. He's been an absolute beast this year. Shoe-in for all Big Ten first team. In my opinion, Illinois should have 2 guys on there. He had 8 dunks on Saturday against Wisconsin, where he ended up with 23 points and 14 rebounds, and he got overshadowed by his teammate, Ayo Dosunmu, who had a triple-double. He has, Kofi, 75 dunks in 49 games, which is the most in a career for an Illinois player since 2008. It was Mike Davis who had 70 career dunks, but Kofi's done it in 89 less games. That's insane. I mean, they out-rebounded Wisconsin, who for years had just annihilated Illinois. Illinois last year snapped I think it was a 15-game losing streak to them. They'd lost 11 in a row in Champaign. And Illinois out-rebounded them 46-19 on Saturday. Yeah. They really blew them out. Ayo Dosunmu told his teammates before the game that he was going to get a triple-double, and he went out there and did it, which was pretty cool.
Calling a shot there.
Yeah, he can do that. He's allowed to do that, I guess. But 2 great wins this week for him. They shot up to number 6 because, as I said, everyone in front of them seemed like they lost. They're playing really good basketball right now. Unfortunately, because Michigan wants more time to prepare because they've been off for a couple weeks. That game on Thursday night has been canceled. That would have been a fun matchup, a top 6 matchup, top 2 teams in the Big Ten. as far as records, but it got wiped out. So Illinois had to reschedule a game with Nebraska for Friday night. So hopefully they can get that done and keep on.
What's Ohio
rolling.
State's record?
Ohio State in the Big Ten, I believe, is.
I know they're ranked 4th in the country, but
I think they're Illinois 9-3. Did Ohio State? Ohio State did not play yesterday. When was the last time Ohio State played? Ohio State's 9-4. So they're just a half game behind Illinois, and of course they have right now the tiebreaker. But Illinois does play in Ohio State at the end of the year, so they can even that out. Ohio State's rolling, as we said. I mean, they went into Iowa on Thursday night and beat them 89-85. Iowa's really struggling.
Lost 4 of the last
now.
5.
CJ Frederick grows out. He's averaging 9 points a game. He is their best 3-point shooter, but they just haven't played well. Luka Garza had 2 rebounds yesterday. He had 4 rebounds against Illinois. I think it's absurd at this point that he's just considered the shoe-in and locked in place, Big Ten Player of the Year, National Player of the Year. I think it's ridiculous. He has not played that well lately. I don't think he's the best overall player in the Big Ten. I think I would assume it is that. If the season ends today, he would be just the 3rd Big Ten player and the 1st since 2010 to have 20 points per game, 6 rebounds per game, and over 4 assists per game in a season, while playing really good defense as well. But people just keep talking about Garza, and they just haven't played well because they then followed up and lose on Sunday at Indiana, their nemesis, their
season sweep,
their nightmare. The Hoosiers get a much needed win because
it didn't surprise me anymore when they beat somebody like that, though. What will surprise me if they can, sounds weird, if they bounce back and beat Northwestern this week, because that's been the Archie Miller.
Absolutely.
Been the common theme of the Archie Miller era lately is knock off somebody you're not supposed to beat, then you lose to somebody you should beat. So,
yeah. I know
IU has a big opportunity this week with Northwestern and at Ohio State.
I know most Indiana fans hate Archie Miller, or a majority of the smart ones do that I know, because I don't think he's that good of a basketball coach. Has great big guys. They play great defense. Their guards are horrendous. Even yesterday, Armand Franklin hit the shot to win the game with 1 second left. He had 4 points or something like that, 5 points on 2 of 11 shooting. Christian Lander's not very good. Rob Fennessy's completely disappeared. He was really good as a freshman 2 years ago.
He did hit the big shot to put him up yesterday before Bohannon hit the amazing shot to tie the game.
Yeah. And Fennessy had a great game in Iowa as well. Al Durham, never been too impressed with Al Durham at all.
Forgot he's even on the team at times.
Race Thompson was the guy that guarded Garza a lot of the time in the second half, and he really shut him down.
Trace Jackson Davis gets more calls than anybody in America because he does shoot more free throws than anybody in America.
He shoots more free throws, makes more free throws than anyone in the country.
Even though I hardly ever see him make back-to-back free throws. Seems like he splits every time he goes to the line.
The one team he's struggled against, and that's because of Coburn's held him to 9 of 31 shooting this year.
I wouldn't worry about it. You let him get his, then stop everybody else.
Stop everyone else, and you win the game.
Yep.
Because he's going to get 20 and 10 usually. Yep. And that's what I say about Garza, too. He's going to get his. Stop Bohannon. Stop Wieskamp, which I think Wiescamp's their best.
And Bohannon's not the same.
Bohannon's not the same. They need Frederick back in the worst way.
Absolutely they do. But
Connor McCaffrey plays way too much.
Both of them.
Patrick McCaffrey plays way too much.
This is classic Fran in February. We say it all the time.
Every single year.
Falls. And I know I told you before we went on there, if this Iowa team, for whatever reason, doesn't make the Sweet 16, maybe Iowa thinks time for fresh face in there. This team's way too talented to at least not make the second week of the tournament.
Way too talented to already have 5 Big Ten losses.
You're right, but Big Ten's beating up on each other. Michigan would have more losses if they were playing. Sure. I would think they would have lost somewhere in the last 2 weeks.
Fran's teams have never played defense. They have to score. And when you score 67 points or 65 points, you're not going to win a Big Ten game. They just can't win like that. Wisconsin can win like that. Purdue can win like that. Even Illinois can win like that. Indiana can win like that. Not Iowa. They have to score 75 plus in order to get it done. Want to go through and pick some games? Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I can't think. I mean, I got to admit, when Purdue lost Tuesday night, I didn't watch college basketball until Purdue played on Saturday. That's kind of how I'm rolling right now.
When Illinois loses, I can't.
Past years I wouldn't, but it's hard for me to watch other games without crowds.
Without fans.
It's really, really hard.
Tonight, in about 40 minutes, we have the Nebraska Cornhuskers heading to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Desperately need a win.
Hate this football matchup when they play because I don't like either coach.
Hate this coach matchup in football.
But give me Minnesota pretty easily.
Minnesota's 11-point favorites, 4-7 in the Big Ten. They lose this one, they're not going to make the tournament, in my opinion.
That's safe.
Absolute must-win for them. Give me the Gophers pretty easily. After that, we have an interesting matchup here. Ohio State travels to College Park.
Yeah, Maryland finally won a home game over Purdue last week. It's their first home Big Ten win. Did they play earlier this year? Ohio? Didn't Maryland, because their road wins were Wisconsin, Illinois, and
Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. I was thinking they won the
They might have played earlier, though. Lost.
But give me Ohio State in this one by about 10.
Maryland's 10-9, 4-8 in the Big Ten, but because of all those wins, good wins, they're still one of the first 4 out. So they're still there. If they win this one, they might be on the right side of the bubble for the time being. Ohio State 3-point favorites. I think Ohio State goes in there and gets it done. They've been playing some really good basketball, one of the hottest teams in the country right now, up to number 4 in the country, and I think they get her done. Tuesday night, we have the Penn State Nittany Lions at the Michigan State Spartans.
And this is a tough one because Michigan State's a hustle, gritty team that can bomb threes. Michigan State's they finally got a win over the weekend against Nebraska, but they didn't look overly impressive doing so. I'm going to take Sparty, though, at home.
I agree. They're 2.5-point favorites. Penn State poses some issues, though, because, as you said, they can bomb the three. They're athletic. They beat the crap out of you, play really hard. Michigan State in a very close one. Wednesday night, we have the IU Hoosiers at the Northwestern Wildcats.
Northwestern got Indiana the first time they played, but that was a different Northwestern team than we're seeing now.
Northwestern got up to number 19 in the country. They have lost 9 straight.
Yep, they're back to what we thought they were going to be coming into the season. Indiana, like we mentioned, coming off a big win over Iowa at home. Can they replicate it and get a win against Northwestern? I think they do go over to Evanston and get a much-needed road win.
This will be the J-Man's Bucket prediction of the week. I think the theme holds and Indiana loses. On the road to Northwestern, people will be calling for Archie's head, put it on a chopping block if they lose this one. But I don't know why. I just feel like Northwestern's going to beat them. J-Man's Bucket prediction of the week brought to you by Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Travis Watchering for life, home, auto, renters, business, workers' comp, and farm insurance. Contact Travis at 219-869-4561. His email is travis.watchering@infb.com. He can sell insurance in Ohio, the Buckeye State.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Northwestern's going to jump up and upset somebody sooner.
I'd rather they
I was
do
say,
it Wednesday.
You probably hope it's not next week.
Yes. So, yeah. Rutgers at Iowa, top 25 matchup here. Iowa somehow only fell 7 spots after losing twice.
I was surprised to see Kansas finally fall out of the top 25 when we're talking
First
about
time
rankings.
since 2009.
Yep. I think my bold prediction's pretty safe of them not winning the regular season.
Yeah, it's going to be
Big
Baylor.
12.
Although Baylor's just canceled 3 more games because of the COVID.
They got they've had problems. But give me Iowa at home. I think they bounce back. I don't think they lose their 5th out of the last 6 games.
If Iowa loses this one, it could get ugly there. But
I hate to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Fran needs to stop being an idiot in his press
That's
conference.
not going to happen.
He's just a jerk.
He's not
a nice guy.
No.
He's mean to the media. He's a yeller and screamer at the officials. He plays the Suns way too much, and the Suns aren't very good. I hope he's at Iowa forever because he's so much fun to hate. And it's so much fun to have a villain in the Big Ten. And he's kind of it now.
They said it was one of the guys that covers IU said was pretty entertaining hearing what he was saying to his team without a packed arena so you could actually hear it. Dropping a lot of profanities.
Give me I almost said give me F-bombs. Give me Iowa in this one. Wisconsin at Nebraska. Wisconsin needs to bounce back.
Yeah, they will. Give me Wisconsin.
I agree. I think Wisconsin. I don't know if Nebraska wins another game.
I just don't think they're very good.
Purdue at Minnesota. Thursday night at 5 Eastern time.
I don't have a good feeling about this one. And Purdue beat Minnesota the first time. They're down 13, and then it was their second biggest margin of victory on the season. Mm-hmm. Their biggest was against Oakland, but I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about it. I'm going to take Minnesota in a close one. I hope I'm wrong.
I'm going to do you a huge favor, and I'm taking Minnesota as well. Again, Minnesota needs another quality win like this, and I think they get it done. But because I took them, you're probably feeling a lot better.
I hope so. I hope it's
better now.
Reverse psychiatry, as
Reverse psychiatry. Illinois at Nebraska at 9 o'clock.
Newly
Friday
added
night.
game, right?
Yes, just an hour ago or so, hour and a half ago.
Give me the Illini. If they lose at Lincoln, then
that'd be bad.
Wouldn't be good for the J-Man stress levels.
No, if they lose to this Nebraska team, They deserve to fall out of the top 25. Fall all the way from 6.
His Twitter will be exploding.
I think Illinois wins by double digits. They have the 8th most efficient offense in the country, the 9th most efficient defense. They're way too good to lose to a team like
if I'm Nebraska, I'm just bombing threes and
Right.
I live and die by the 3.
Yeah.
We're gonna shoot 45 of them. see if we can make half.
Northwestern at Rutgers.
Give me Rutgers.
Saturday. Give me Rutgers as well. Indiana at Ohio State.
Give me the Buckeyes.
Give me the Buckeyes as well. It'd be so Indiana to lose to Northwestern and then followed up by winning on the road at Ohio
Just keep
State.
the roller coaster
Yep.
of a season of emotions going for their fan base.
Upset alert here. Iowa at Michigan State Spartans.
I'm just still not confident in this Michigan State team enough to give them 2 wins for the week, so I'm going Iowa.
Michigan State about got them in Iowa.
Yep.
Only lost by 6. Give me Sparty in this one. Upset alert. 3 games on Sunday. Michigan at Wisconsin if Michigan plays.
I'm going Wisconsin, and I know Michigan's the front run right now in the conference. Haven't played in 2 weeks. Tough to come back and play your first game.
Yeah, give me Wisconsin as well, especially in that arena where it's just different because
Rims are different.
rims are different. The ball's different.
Under Armour ball.
The hockey rink is underneath the floor, so it's a lot colder in there than it is in any other arena.
It's Cold State, too.
Give me Wisconsin. Nebraska at Penn State. I'm sure you'll be tuned into this one.
No. Give me the Nittany Lions.
Give me Penn State. Does Nebraska play 4 times this week?
I bet that game gets switched
Has to.
because they just added that Friday game. Unless, oh my gosh, if they play 4 games in 7 days.
They moved the Illinois-Nebraska game in Champaign from February 24th to sometime in March.
Well,
so
maybe
I don't
Nebraska agreed to play.
Maybe they haven't. They might have
they're getting
announced
close
it by
to catching up. I'd say making up all their games.
now. If that's played, give me Penn State. Minnesota at Maryland, a bubble matchup here.
I'll go Maryland.
I agree.
I don't
Maryland.
know why.
Maryland beat them by
Yeah,
14.
First time.
In Minneapolis. I think Maryland gets her done.
The Battle of the M's.
Again, any other top 25 matchups real quick that are of note? Drake finally lost their first game. Valpo killed them after
6-1
beating them.
Valpo.
Yeah.
Valpo, they play back-to-back days, right?
Yeah. Against
Valpo lost by 3 on
yeah,
Saturday and then got them yesterday.
by whooping them. Loyola Chicago is ranked 22nd.
Yeah, that team, yeah, they could make another run.
Villanova at Creighton Saturday night.
Give me Creighton.
Give me Creighton as well. Let's see. Remember when San Francisco beat Virginia earlier in the year when Virginia was ranked 4th?
Completely forgot about it.
San Francisco's 10-8, 4-4 in the West Coast Conference.
They're not being Gonzaga, if that's what you want to ask me.
Number 7, Number 7, Texas Tech at number 2, Baylor has been postponed.
Wow.
Friday night, Illinois is the only ranked team playing. Nothing good. Gonzaga's won 13 straight by double digits.
I think they play BYU tonight. I think
That's
they're
a good
10.5
one,
point favorites. Wonder how good old Matty Harms,
gonna
how many
say,
points he'll put up.
Man, Baylor's had 2 really good games wiped out. They were supposed to go to number 12 Oklahoma on Wednesday. West Virginia at Texas Tech, 14-7, Tuesday night.
Give me Texas Tech.
Give me Texas Tech as well. Tonight, Gonzaga at BYU. Might as well pick that one.
Give me the Zags by 17.
Yeah, that's fair. They're 10.5 point favorites. As we've said, they've
Harms
won.
will have 13 points.
Will he be able to score that many? That'd be a career high, it feels like.
Nah, he's averaging literally about the same he did at Purdue.
Yeah.
Same man shooting worse. And that's why he wanted to leave Purdue to give himself more shooting opportunities, open space. Yeah.
Ready to hear the Birdie Bogey?
Yeah, because honestly, something about 20 points, 20 rebounds. That's all I remember.
Since the NBA-ABA merger in 1976, what player has the most 20 point and 20 rebound games?
Man.
This player has 50 more than number 2 on the list.
Can I have a hint?
Played for the...
I was just going to ask you a question.
You can ask
That was in our lifetime.
Yeah, he played in our lifetime,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Actually,
You think?
yeah, I'm going to...
Oh, geez.
Just real quick.
Now.
Yeah, he had to have. There's no way. I'm stupid. He did.
Did?
Yeah. He did.
20 point, 20 rebound.
Has 50 more than the guy who's second on the list.
Oh, I'm really nervous though the way you answered that question. So, Keem Olajuwon.
No.
Hmm.
He was 5th. He has 45. Dwight Howard, second, with 57. This guy had 107, 20-point, 20-rebound games. Moses Malone.
Oh, I didn't know he played in our lifetime.
He played till 95.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought he was done.
That's why I wasn't sure.
No, so, yep.
Charles Barkley's third.
Wasn't even on my radar.
Shaq was fourth. Andre Drummond, sixth.
I thought about even Ewing, but then I'm like, I don't know if he grabbed that many boards.
Ewing's not even in the top 10.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan was 7.
No.
Kevin Garnett, 8. Kevin Willis, 9.
Kevin Willis?
Elvin Hayes, 10.
Wow, good question. I
That's
struggle when it
insane.
comes to NBA. So
Moses Malone had 50 more such games. That's insane to me. I knew he was really good, but
yeah, that's incredible.
yeah.
That knocks me down one.
Knocks him down one. He's now only 4 up.
Yeah, J-Man's catching up. Still under
Still-
par though.
Still early.
Still under par.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's going to do it for episode 221 of the Tan and J-Man Show. Thanks for listening. And please hit subscribe if you haven't already, wherever you're listening on the audio platform you're choosing. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating and review. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching on the ISC Sports Network. My dog's thanking everybody for watching. And we'll be back same time, same channel next week, live at 6:30. So have a great week, everybody. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay sane.